It's time for Morning Soulshine with Bridget, a podcast where we interview people who express their stories of triumph. I'm your host, certified life and mindset coach, Bridget Gibson. You're listening to Morning Soulshine with Bridget, and on this month, we are recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we recognize the victims as well as the survivors. And before we get started with this interview, I would like to say a prayer. Loving God, be with all men and women who are in doubt about their intimate relationships. Give them clarity of mind and peaceful hearts so that they can make good decisions guided by your love. Let those who must discern any abuse that may exist so that they can learn to care for themselves with your help. Let those who must acknowledge that they are harming the other so that they can learn to abhor their own behavior. On today, we welcome Mrs. Yolanda Carter. She's a survivor of domestic violence. Welcome, Mrs. Carter.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to thank you, Bridget, for the opportunity for me on your platform to share my near fatal domestic assault tragedy, which I know that things happen for a reason. And I want to just say thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of your platform today.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. And you and I met on Clubhouse. You were a guest telling your story. And I was so moved by what I heard that I, DM'd you. And I was like, hi, could you be on my podcast? And you was like, yes. And I really, really appreciate it. And your story is just, horrific. I can't even imagine what you've gone through in these last few years. Can you tell us about your story?
Okay, yes, I can. Well, my name is Yolanda Carter again, and I was a near fatal domestic assault victim by the hands of my live-in partner of 8 years. And 8 years, it wasn't just on and off. It was kind of on and off with the relationship. I was not married to him, but this guy was very charming, very charismatic, very attentive. But there was a dark side that sometimes that we don't know. We can be in a relationship with someone and really not even know them. And with that being said, there was not a lot of physical abuse going on in the relationship. I want to say it was mainly more so verbal, emotional manipulation. He was also verbally, just disrespectful at times, belittling me, my children, and stuff like that. He would throw my belongings down, if he get mad. And a lot of times I would just blame it on his just being a little bit intoxicated and not really knowing that he was using drugs. That's what came out in the end. But as the relationship was going on, his pattern had started changing. His behaviors was changing. Even with the family started realizing that he was not coming around as much and doing things that he used to do with us. And that was kind of like an eye opener, but because of being in denial. And one thing about a person that is being abused, you don't really see it. Everybody else seems to see things that you really don't see because we have those blinders on. We look at it that, this person is not going to do anything. He loves me. And that's what I thought. People would tell me, Yolanda, be careful. And I was like, this man loves me. He was my knight in shining armor. And, I was just looking at domestic violence being black eyes and bruises and just someone physically abusing you and not really knowing the full cycle of an abuse. So when I learned about what the patterns of what domestic violence really is, It's a form of power and control. It's manipulation. It's a mental, it's verbal, it's psychological, financial, even spiritual abuse that women are facing. Not only women go through domestic violence abuse, there are men that goes through it as well. So the most important thing is to make sure that we are always informed. We are always educated on what to look for, the red flags and warning signs. And when I tell you the red flags and warning signs, the writing was definitely on the wall. So because of me not paying attention, I was in denial. Sometimes they gaslight you, telling you that, oh, what's wrong with you? This is not really going on. You must be crazy, making you feel like something is wrong, that you're doing wrong. And as time go on, I had to put this gentleman out. And I know people say, why do you say he's a gentleman? Because gentlemen don't do things like that. But, he was a true gentleman in my eyes, because it was not all bad. Now, I'm not going to say the relationship was a perfect relationship. And that's just what any relationship that we go through. That there's no perfect relationship unless, if it is, kudos to you. Okay. But in the past relationship that I've experienced, we all have ups and downs. There's some bumps in the road that we do have to cross at times.
But you never thought he would do what he did to you, right?
Oh, my God, no, because you could not tell me. This guy, I'm telling you, when I was sick, he would nurse me back to health. He was a very clean guy, cook. When the food is done, when I'm, because I was a line dancer, I worked 2 jobs, and he was a very hardworking guy himself. He'd come home from work, he'd cook full course meals, and if I was gone and I'm coming back in, I would come in, and he would come down and park the car, and he would make sure, let me know, just let me know when you coming in. I will have your plate ready and hot on the on the counter and stuff like that. So I was just looking at all the good things.
Yeah. So when you put him out, did you realize at that time, or had he sought any type of mental health help?
Well, no, he did not. And you know what? I really started thinking, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything. But I do know that there was some past hurt that was going on in his life from his family, from his upbringing. And I believe that sometimes when we have some past childhood traumas that's in our life that we have challenged them or even got help for, I believe that's one of the things that he was going through. And I guess he didn't know how to deal with it. And I guess sometimes you lash out at the wrong people. So I believe it was some hitting, some things that was underneath the surface that I did not know. But I did see a little bit of it coming here and there. And he would call me the B word. And you would think, okay, that's, if somebody is calling you names, it's like, why would you be with somebody like that? But I guess because, and I'm going to be very transparent. A lot of times when we are with a significant other, we not only in it because of love, we in it because we don't know if it's love or lust, first of all. Mm-hmm. Then it's about the like they say, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And you look at all the material things, all the money and all the great things that they do for you. And then when you say, oh, wow, I don't want to leave this person because he's doing all these great things for me, I can handle it. I thought I had it all under control. I thought it was just something that was normal. And a lot of we do normalize a lot of behaviors that we look because we dismiss a lot of it. And we make excuses for bad behaviors. And that's a thing that we do. And we are in denial because we look at the fact that, oh, don't nobody else know this person. I know him besides what y'all just basically see, outside of what everybody else see. Oh, he's not that type of person. Mm-hmm. And that's what he didn't portray to be, that type of person to everybody else. But the person that's living in the house, we are the ones that really see it's the people, the outside looking in, and they don't really see what we are really experiencing. So we don't want to tell people, oh, this person is doing all these bad things, because they're going to look at you like, why are you dealing with this type of stuff?
Exactly.
But deal with things and really never think that we would deal with them. Because I used to be, and I'm gonna be honest, I used to be saying, why do women let these men do these things? But until you start walking in those shoes, you can never judge nobody for what they have gone through, because you don't know if you will be put in that same position. Everybody's not as strong as other people. And a lot of things I may allow, you may not allow. And a lot of things you may allow, I may not allow. So, it's like a up and down thing. But domestic violence is just like taboo. It's just like an elephant in a room.
It is. It is.
Talk about.
Because, I've been doing domestic violence awareness since 2013. And it's been a very interesting path, because you think you think you're helping bring awareness, but people don't want to hear it.
No,
it's like
they don't.
Yeah, it's kind of like, this is something that we don't want to talk about. Yes. And I'll see people outside of social media, and they'll tell me like, "Oh, you're doing a great job, keep going," but they will not acknowledge it.
They right. Yes. Absolutely. And people just don't. It's like I said, it's an elephant in the room that we just don't want to address. We know what's happening, but in our eyes, we just try to sweep everything up under the rug. Like it's just something that, okay, this hopefully it'll go away. But
because it's our loved ones, this is people that we love.
Yes.
And we're with them every day. They're not like that. Most of the times, they're not like that every day.
No.
And it's like, it's in our house. We don't want to bring it outside the house.
Yes, absolutely. And, we may say we love the person, but we hate the abuse. And we feel that sometimes we can change people. Ladies, we will never, ever be able to change no one. So don't think that you can change a person, because remember what they show you. Remember, that's exactly who they are. So don't never think that a person's going to change unless they just did a whole reincarnation. But mainly, if this is what they show you, this is exactly who they are. And we have to believe, and we have to trust and know that we can get out of a situation. And I didn't think that I had to get out of something, because like I said, domestic violence to me was just black eyes and bruises, because in my first encounter of domestic violence that I did not think that I had to rehash or to really, dig up from my past, that was physical. That was more physical than anything, getting
so you were in a prior relationship where
yes. And then after I realized, after all the relationships that I realized, every relationship was a domestic abusive relationship. And not saying that all of them was physical, but there was belittling, disrespect, making you feel worthless, making you feel like you always the problem. Like if it wasn't like this, it would you the problem. And it's always something turned around on you just to take the blame off of themselves. So
do you think maybe, because of how you view domestic violence, you think you attracted the same type of person?
I believe I did. And you know what? People have asked me, Yolanda, what could have been? Was it insecure or low self-esteem? No, I'm very insecure. Not insecure at all. I'm not insecure. I'm very secure within myself, and I don't have no low self-esteem. I'm not that hey y'all. I'm that hey y'all type of person. I'm not the type of person that really. I don't like drama. First of all, I don't like the argument. I don't like to be accused of things. And in this relationship that this person tried to take my life, he would accuse me of things. He would blame me for things and, make up things like it was not existing. And I'm like, something ain't right. I'm thinking that this man, because of this age and because we are 11-year-old, a different age difference. I'm 53 and he's 63. He'll be 60. In fact, his birthday is on Halloween. So it was just a lot of things that I was going through that I was in denial with. I was just kept sweeping it up under the rug. I was dismissing it. But one thing I'm gonna tell you, ladies, or whoever is on the line, I just want to say one thing. When you are being abused, you will become someone that will start abusing as well. And when I say that, I found myself being an abuser towards him as well, because I felt that, oh, you saying these things or trying to hurt me, I want to hurt you even worse. So I was trying to figure out ways to really, really dig down in him and get him. So I'm feeling like, okay, you trying to inflict pain on me, I'm going to inflict it back, and I'm just back to you in return.
Yeah, it was self-preservation at that point. Huh? So I said it was self-preservation at that point.
Absolutely.
You were trying to take care of yourself.
And right. And you know something, I was never that type of person. I would never disrespect my maid or nothing. It just seemed that he just turned me into somebody that I wasn't. And I started feeling like I don't even care anymore. It's like I say something and just didn't. I mean, honestly, it was just like I did not care. I was feeling like, hey, Yolanda, this is not even you. But I was like, okay, well, so what? You know, and it will cause you to become an abuser. And that's the hard part about it, because you like, this is not even me. But and treated like this for no reason. I'm being accused of stuff that I know I'm not doing. That's the worst thing, to be accused of something that you know you're not doing, but they badger you about it, saying you did this and you did that and you know you didn't do it. Oh my God, that's the worst feeling in the world.
So Yolanda, when you put him out, what happened after that?
Well, I put him out maybe a total of 4 times. The first time I put him out, and every time I put him out, it was for different reasons. And I think because of more so of the disrespect and, doing things that he was just doing a little bit too much for me. And when I put him out, of course, they'll call crying. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Please. I can't, I can't stay out in these streets. I don't have nowhere to go. I need you. I love you. You're not what I say you was. I'm sorry. I never do it again. And we start believing it. And then we have compassion and we start, saying, oh, okay. So my thing was like, okay, I'm going to let him stay out there maybe a few more days and then I'll let him come back, because I was feeling bad too, what they did. You still have a heart. I do have a heart, and I didn't want to see him like that. And I just felt like he's a weak man, because I felt like any man that can't fend for himself, you're a weak person. But through it all, I still allow him to come back, and then we just act like things never happened. It was never a conversation about the stuff that happened. We just move forward like it happened, and just like it never happened again. You know what I'm saying? But then it happened again. But every time, when you have a altercation or whatever, it was never a physical altercation, but it was, it was enough physically. He did one day grab me and bust my lip or whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm telling my family, oh yeah, my lip busted or whatever, but I didn't mean it. Like I said, we make excuses for bad behaviors. And because he had no business grabbing me, he had no business doing whatever he did, but I still covered up and like, oh, okay, this is nothing. He okay. And that's one thing about being abused, and you have family members and people that's in your life that, you don't want to tell, because first of all, they know you're going to still be with that person. They know that eventually you're going to, make up excuses. You're going to say, oh, they didn't do it. It wasn't, it was an accident. We do that just to cover it up, and to sake of face, the face, and just don't want people to really know. And then, of course, when he come around the family, the friends, and you with him, you don't want nobody being like, girl, why you with that man? He ain't good for you. You don't want to hear that kind of stuff. Exactly. You kind of like keep it up under wraps. You wear that mask and you cover it up and you don't say nothing because you don't want nobody to be in your business. So that's what we do. And like I always say, we are paid actresses, and, we basically paid to shut up. We basically paid to, not say nothing and just do as they say and just keep it together. Because we're going to get the money, we're going to get our bills paid, we're going to get all these things, like they say, we like all these things that we know, material things. Mm-hmm. We go for these material things and what they can do for us. What about, I felt like sometimes I was losing myself. Because when a person is doing so much for you, giving you money, putting you on a joint account, buying this and doing that, and you feel like, wow, he even told me to lose my job. I mean, quit my job. And I was like, I thought about it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to quit my job because I know he got me. But see, that's the thing. Those are tactics that we have to pay attention to.
Well, I appreciate you being so transparent with us tonight, because sometimes we can lie to ourselves, and you're being very transparent. And I know someone out there is listening to you and accepting what you're saying because they're going through the same thing and they have the same thoughts. And so it's very refreshing to hear someone tell the truth,
Absolutely. And so and that's one thing I want to do. I want to be very transparent with the listeners. I want to be honest because sometimes I felt that I wasn't being honest about the abuse and thinking that I had a voice. Now I know I have a voice. I know how to say when I'm uncomfortable, when I don't like how you treating me or what you to me. I know how to say that now. For a long time, I didn't have a voice. I didn't know that I could say these things or without being a confrontation or being felt like I'm the one that's, doing wrong when I know I'm not doing it. But it's always turned on you and it makes you feel bad for something that you didn't even do.
Amen. So Yolanda, what got you to this point? What was the turning point for you in this relationship?
Okay, well, the turning point to the relationship was, I think that I started seeing a lot of things that I didn't like, a lot of red flags as far as him, I think started drinking a little bit too much, being disrespectful. And, especially with my kids. And that's one thing I told him, I said, I'm here, you here today or tomorrow, don't you ever disrespect my children. So what really was the breaking and other choice, but I had to be away from him because when he tried to take my life, March 22nd, 2016.
Can you tell us that story?
Yes, ma'am. Well, March 22nd, 2016 was the day I could never, ever forget. This was a day, it's just like a movie, like a life movie or a horror flick. But God, I'm here today to share my story with the world.
Amen.
Well, I want to lead up until the day of, it was a normal day on a Friday. Me and my son and him, we normally get up every day at around the same time, 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. We'd be at the house about 6 o'clock, 6:30. I had to be at work at 7 and he would have to be at work at 7 as well. But I would always take him to work. And I take my son to school. And, that's how we started our day. And this was a Friday, a day that he got paid. And for some reason, I guess he already had, what he was going to do. And when we all came home, he never came home. There was no call or show. So as I proceeded that night, I just was like, okay. So I got up on Saturday. Me and my son, we went to the game room downtown. And, I had my own car. He didn't have a car, but this particular time, I guess he went to work and he went on some type of binge. And, I would kind of like watch the patterns because when he would get paid, he would leave out at 12 o'clock midnight, go, fill my car up with gas. And, but sometimes he would kind of not come back in within hours. And you going to Indiana to put some gas in the car now. And it don't take all day, but he would always say, oh, I'm at the casino. I'm, doing this and pumping gas or whatever. I'm playing slots or whatever. But when I look at the bank account, because he had me on a joint account, it would be, I would see Bank of America on a certain street. And I'm like, that don't look like that. That's not no casino. So then I started seeing the money come out the account, like in large amounts of money. So sometimes what I would do, I would say, oh, okay, he's not getting ready to spend all this money. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not going to spend all this money today. So what I would do, I would take all the money out of his account and then I would just put it in my account because I felt that we still have bills. We still got things to do. So whatever you out here doing, you're not going to finish doing it. So That was a couple of times. But then I would bring it to him and I would say, you know, that seemed like, you know, are you using drugs? Oh, no, you know, you get very defensive. Oh, no, I'm not using drugs. They do drops on my job. So I was kind of like, yeah, you're right. You know, manipulation is not no joke. You know, they were like, yeah, okay. So I believed them and I just was like, okay. But it kept happening. And like I said, I was in denial about it and I just let it go. I always dismissed it. So I would, you know, those times I didn't know that he had started using drugs after I found out, you know, the truth, you know, I guess the drugs told him to kill me. So as we came on, he had left and he did not come back for days. So after those 3 days that he was gone, he decided all his money was gone and he wanted to come back. And that's when I was like, I don't even want to be bothered. I didn't want to answer the phone. I didn't, you know, I just kind of ignored him. So he kept calling my phone and he was, you know, trying to get him, reach him, but I was ignoring him. So I knew I was going to eventually have to answer because I knew he was going to have to come home and get ready for work. And because, you know, you got to do the stuff all over again because this was the weekend. And so I finally answered the call on Monday, which when I was getting my son from school. So I was like, hello. He was like, hello, are you at home? And I'm like, no, I'm getting my son from school. And I mean, he was just obsessively calling me back and back to back to back. And I was like, something ain't right. I mean, I'm telling him I'm not at home, which he knew I wasn't at that particular time, but not knowing that he was already at the building when I dropped my son off because I was going to get me and my son something to eat, not really paying attention that he was already in the, you know, in the building, around the building. So I proceeded to go get something to eat. My son, you know, went in the house, but apparently he knew my son was there because he kept ringing the door. My son said he kept ringing the doorbell back and back and back and back. So he knew he was there because he seen him. So he kept calling me, are you at home? So if you know that I was gone and you watch me, you know I'm not. I guess he thought like, okay, she's just out running around doing whatever. So I went to go get me and my son something to eat. So as I'm coming back, I don't know, something told me to park my car around the corner. So I proceeded to walk around from parking my car around the corner. And when I got close to the building, I was like a few inches from the doorway and all of a sudden he stepped out on me and I froze. So he was like, oh, I thought she was gone. And I'm like, okay, I'm back, whatever. So he proceeded to talking about, oh, you know, the doctor said I'm stressed out and all this stuff I didn't really want to hear because in my mind, your money, what they got to do with anything? You was gone this whole weekend, your money gone and whatever. So me, my man, when we got upstairs, he asked me, he was like, can I take a shower? But, you know, just out of, you know, just spiteful, I was like, no. And I really didn't mean, I really didn't mean, you know, you're going to take a shower. And I didn't even know why. If you stay there, why would you ask me, can you take a shower in the first place? So, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, I'll take a shower so you can get ready for work, whatever. So he proceeded to take a shower. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this man was in the bathroom for like maybe 2 hours at least, I believe. So as I go and I'm in the living room still, my son made me realize that he did say, well, can I get the key card so he can wash his clothes? I don't remember that, but that's what he was telling me. And he proceeded to go and lay down. And I want to say that was like about 10 o'clock that night. So as I'm in the living room, you know, doing my own little thing, watching TV, and, you know, we on Facebook, looking at all our things we doing. So I just decided to, you know, just hang out for a while. I knew I had to get ready to take my shower because I knew I had to be up for work for the next morning. So I ended up going to bed around 12. I want to say between 12 and 12:30 because that's what time I would go to bed. Sometimes 10:30, 11. It all depends on me. So I end up going to bed. And the thing about it is that I did not wake up the same way I went to sleep. So when I say that knight in shining armor, a person that I trusted with my life, someone that I thought that loved me, he went and got a hammer and he beat me like I was a rag doll. He beat me so bad, he left me in a pool of blood to die. But God, y'all. Grace and mercy. And because of God and my son, I am here today. If you have never seen a miracle before, you are looking at one. You are listening to a miracle. And because of my just believing God, knowing that I can live and not die. And when the paramedics and all the sirens, because I was hearing faint sounds of, everything, I was in and out. I didn't know what was going on. And all I asked was, what happened to me? And that's when my son said, Mama, he beat you with a hammer. And I said, well, why would he do something like that? And I looked in the mirror. My face was so disfigured. Left me with part of my brains in the bed. God, I am here. And I want anybody to know that domestic violence is real. This man crushed my skull. I have a metal plate lodged in my head. All of my facial bones were broken and shattered on the left side of my face that caused me to have to lose my left eye. I have had to have braces on my teeth to build the bones back so I can smile again. I have multiple gashes in the back of my head. I had already had 13 reconstructive surgeries. And when I tell you, God is amazing, I don't look like what I've been through. It was so damaging. I had so many damages that was done. Even the doctors told me, ma'am, people don't survive this. And I told them, I said, but God, because I believe that God wanted me here for a reason, to make sure that I am here to inspire, to empower, and to motivate other women or some men that's going through domestic violence abuse, to let them know that they are not alone and it's never your fault and you do have options. So remember, if you are under the sound of my voice and you are in a domestic violence relationship, knowing that it's never your fault. And remember that you can get out, but you have to get out safely. You have to create a safety plan. Get with someone that you can trust. Have a professional if you have to help you. There are resources out here to help people. There are national domestic violence hotline numbers that we need to make sure that we get out here to you guys. We also know that we need to shed light on domestic violence because domestic violence has spiked up so much. And can you imagine 20 people per minute is being affected by domestic violence? Right now, someone is being affected by it. But remember that it's not where you've been, it's where you're going. It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of courage to be able to share what you have gone through, because a lot of people would have not even wanted to talk about it. They don't feel like, we just want to shove it up under the rug. There's like it's not existent. This is existent. This is real. This is my life. And I want people to see me, because I want people to see that no matter what you look like, you're still beautiful. And I had to learn that. I was thinking like, oh my God, I look like a monster. But God,
and you are beautiful.
I love who I am today.
You are absolutely beautiful.
I love who I am today. I had to learn that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I have a voice now. I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to share my story with the world. I'm able to help other women or anybody that's going through it, to let them know that it's okay. and to listen, because a lot of times people don't want us to talk. They just want to listen. They want us to listen. Sometimes don't be judging no one. Don't discredit people for what their abuse was, because don't nobody know what the person had to go through. So it's important for us to make sure that we raise awareness, and we know that domestic violence is something that we always need to shed light on. And it's important to make sure we let people know that it's okay. And if they're going through it, it's okay. You can talk about it. But if you're not, we can't force nobody to do nothing. You have to do it on your own timing.
Amen. Amen. And I have that 800 number to the National DV hotline. It's 1-800-799-7233. And we're just so happy that you're here with us, Yolanda. And I also want to recognize all the awards that you've received, and you've gotten so much media coverage about what you've gone through. Can you share some of that with us?
Yes, actually, sometimes things just be dropped in your lap. And when people start hearing your story, you start doing things. When the people start hearing my story, someone reached out to the news media. They wanted to do the coverage. So my story had started with WGN News. I was on Fox 32, Channel 7, ABC 7. I was on Windy City Live. I've been honored with the state's attorney, Kim Fox, with the Courage Awards. And multitude, I mean, oh my God, I have so many accolades and so many awards that when I looked at my Facebook page, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. I've been honored by so many, many, many people. And I am so honored and blessed to be able to, be on so many major platforms. I've even been on the platforms with Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. They had me on there. I've been on with the senators and, a lot of people, major platforms. So I am very honored and blessed to be able to be on platforms such as that.
Well, we're just honored to have you with us today, and you have been such an encouragement to us. And when we started this broadcast, I was looking at the pictures that you sent me, the different articles and the pictures when you were in the hospital. And I got so choked up. I'm going to have to redo this intro because I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't finish it. So I'm going to redo the intro, and we're going to get it, we'll get it right. But okay, no problem. Oh my gosh, I'm just so pleased to know you. I'm just so happy that you're here with me. And is there anything else you would like to say to us tonight?
Well, I do have, I am an author. I have a book out called One Eyewitness. I'm still trying to wait for the website to come back up. I'm doing a lot of things, and I try to put myself in a lot of places where I'm needed. I'm on a lot of subcommittees for domestic violence for the police departments. I'm on one of the voices of domestic violence. I'm a community outreach advocate for Metropolitan Family Services. I do a lot of things. Some things I can't remember, but I do so many things that sometimes you just can't remember everything. But yes, for the closing remarks, I just want to let you all know, please, if you are in a domestic violence relationship, that you're not alone, and it's not your fault. And you do have options, and there is hope and there's help out here. If you someone that you could just trust, always go to someone that you think that you can trust, because everybody is not going to be someone that you can trust. Never feel like your abuse does not matter, because whatever you've gone through, it truly matters. And that's basically, if you see something, say something. If you know someone that's going through it, and you know their patterns, you know how they move, shake and move a lot, and you start seeing them flinching or moving around a certain type of way, they're being abused. And let them know that, it's okay, let's talk. Even if they don't want to talk about it, let them know that I know what's going on. And, I'm just letting you know I am aware. always remember that you have a safe place to go to and create a safety word if you are in immediate danger and you can't call a friend or whatever. You always make sure you create a safety word or something that you can call somebody and they'll know exactly what you're going through and to get you some help. So
thank you. And we're going to be sure to post your book and the link to your website so people can order your book. And we're just so happy that you've been with us and we love you a lot. And this is Bridget and you've been listening to Morning Soulshine, and we'll talk to you later this week. Thank you so much.